Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today. Walter here at the workbench. And yes, there's more to woodworking than hand planes. No, say it isn't true. Not going to get into a big history lesson on woodworking, but we all know that the early humans probably broke branches apart to build their first shelter. And then they started finding stones that, when smashed together, they had these really sharp edges. Then they used them as knives for cutting things, right? And so then the history of tools evolved from there. What I wanted to touch base on in this video was a little bit on layout and levels of accuracy. If you're a framing contractor, you generally would use a pencil that looks like this. Not like this, like this. Because you only need accuracy to within the thickness of that pencil line, okay? For finer work, you take a sharper, harder, cleaner, crisper pencil, and you make a line like that. The second line. So now you got to ask yourself a question. Am I cutting to the line? Am I cutting beyond the line? Or am I going to split the line? Okay? So that depends on the accuracy of your saw, your skills, and what you're making. So in this instance, if I wanted to take that first line, which was the carpenter's pencil, and I wanted to split the line, leaving a half on each side, I would lay the saw directly right over the line, and I would saw right on top of the line. Okay? So that gives me something that should be reasonably accurate to within a 1/16 of an inch of the measurement that we marked out. Now, if, however, I want to take that cut and I want to leave the line, okay, so that I could come back in with a hand plane and then plane the end grain to the line, making it more accurate, then that's what I would do. I would leave the line on one side, and I would saw right up to it. Okay, leaving the line. And then I come back in here with a hand plane and take care of that. Now, if we wanted to take it one notch further, what we would do is we would use a knife. Since a knife is a lot like a plane blade and a chisel, you're sharpening it to where you can't see the edge anymore. We would take the knife line and we would make a light pass, make a second pass, make a third pass, or even a fourth pass. And then you come in and either with a chisel or with your knife, you start your cut at the top. Okay? Flick that out. You can do that with a chisel as well. Now, you've got an edge, okay, that will actually act as a reference. So now you have cut this even closer. And then you hit that with your hand plane and you're done. So if you notice, I have two saws. This one is filed for crosscut work. This one is filed for ripping. Now, early days, I'm sure they didn't spend any thought at all about angles of the sharpening and the set of the teeth, or something called phleem. They would just use a square filed or a stone that was chipped, and it was square chipped. But as you'll notice, if I go to use this one, crosscut, it's harder. And it's leaving a rough finish. So, where we would use the ripping cut would be for something like, well, with this particular saw, and that's a little high, but you would use this particular saw for when you're cutting tenons. See how nice and smooth that is? Whereas with the crosscut, it doesn't work well. So everybody always wonders, why do we have so many saws? Very simple. There's a saw for every purpose. So when you're cutting dovetails or tenons, you want a fine set rip blade. They're filed square across, and depending on how much lean you put into the filing, you can make them more or less aggressive. This one is sort of medium. But anywhere where there's end grain, it works fine. Cross grain, not so much. So rip and cross cut. And we've talked about pencils versus pencils versus knife line. Hope that helps somebody. This is just a brief introduction. I'm not trying to teach you any specific thing, but you always wonder why we have so many saws. And if you really get into it, there's bench tools, and then there's tools you would use on your saw bench, which is for cutting lumber to size. And you can go from 4 teeth per inch to 6 to 8 to 18, 12, whatever. And I guess that'll be a topic for another video, because this one's gone a little long to begin with. Appreciate you being here. It's hot here. Hope you're having a great day. Like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your shop. Go see what tools you have. Walter out.